Okay, hi. We should be live. How you doing?
Oh, snap.
Hello to anybody in the chat channel. Let's see, is there anybody in the chat channel? Hey, I'm in the chat channel. That's great.
That's what counts.
I'm about to be.
Okay, good deal. If you're watching later on YouTube or VOD, hello to you as well. We are continuing our heart game here tonight. We're down one player. Matt can't make it tonight, but the rest of us are going to soldier on. So it's going to be like adventures in kobolding or defenders of lollygagging or something like that. That's what's going on
There you
tonight.
go.
Little mix
The
of
second
both.
one was better, yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I don't think we can make can we make kobold into a verb? Kobolding? I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, so we're continuing some stuff. So I want to dive in fast. Let's just do our plugins. What do you got going on this week, Chuck?
Defenders of Kobold Wednesday. We're kicking off our Tiny Dungeons adventure. I just named it. It's shit. Hang on. It's got a great name, but I've completely spaced it. Where's it? Here it is.
Tiny Dungeons is a really good game, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
It has been really fun.
The name of the adventure that I'm writing / running is Electric Feelings and the Naughty Professor.
Nice. I like it.
So
I like it. Very cool. So that's Wednesday. You're playing at Wednesday?
Wednesday. Yep. Thursday, I'll be playing over on Matt's stream. Grim and Perilous Plays. Matt's running some Mutant Crawl Classics for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday. I know. It's rough, man.
Mutant Crawl Classics are cool too. I really like to look at that.
Yeah.
Someday.
Friday, Joe's running his game, Blades and Pepper Shakers, 5th edition. Yep. We had it was Blades and Pepper Shakers.
It was Blades and Pepper Shakers. Name to be determined, because pretty much all new characters.
Yeah, we had a soft TPK last session.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, I'm running some Zweihander for a bunch of the Grim and Perilous Studio people on twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG.
Cool.
A little hint, I haven't written anything yet. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, and you can't pull like something about Marie or anything like that either, because they kind of know possibly.
They fucking wrote it.
A little bit about what happens in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
that's
okay.
That's us for the week.
Nice. So us for the week, Lollygaggers, we are doing we got this tonight, Thursday on twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG. We're starting a brand new Zweihander adventure. We just finished up our Ailing Isle games. We're starting the Unsettled Stem, so that's going to be kind of fun. I'm billing it. My tagline is 13th Warrior meets The Hills Have Eyes, and so that's what we're going with. I don't know if that's what's going to end up being, but that's what I'm telling myself anyway. And then Saturday we're playing some Mutineer Zero on this channel. So on our Lollygagger channel, we're continuing our Gen Lab. I think it's episode 10 at this point. So it's pretty good. We are nearing, I think, a turn in the campaign. Though I shouldn't say that, but we are nearing a turn in the campaign, which is going to be exciting. Dan, Joe, you guys got anything to add? Anything else we're doing?
Not really. Chuck pretty much summed it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for tonight. I think it'll be lots of fun. So
yeah. Well, hopefully, let's find out. So let's get started. So last time you all went into a big old barracuda / train. You delved down inside of it, found a bunch of weird shit. Chuck has a second copy of himself, so he's playing a little bit of Weekend Bernie's, carrying him around, putting sunglasses on him, those types of things.
Yeah.
Joe found Kethras. He found a chest that had his master's symbol on it. That when he put on a pair of special spectacles, it said it was perhaps not what it appeared to be. There's some sort of glamoring thing going on. Let's see. Dan and Matt, when they were going through a manager's room in the subway, found a stack of punch cards that like workers' punch cards that had everyone's names on it. And then what happened to Devesa? What was some weird stuff that happened? Anything weird happened to Devesa?
Well, first episode, she got her 3-headed pig. So she's just taking care of that.
Okay. All right.
Making friends with our scientist.
Did you? Oh, that's true. Yeah, you bonded with our scientist, Professor Bahekman. So it's B.H. Ekman. There you go.
Yep.
So Professor.
He's joining us forever and ever, apparently.
So you delve down into this big old barracuda, went through all sorts of weird train station stuff and pipes and organs and whatnot, and you ended at a farm deep in this creature, and it was like a bunch of these little kelp gardens and farms that were being tended to by partially digested victims of whatever's been going on and calling people down here. One of whom gave traded Kethras a pair of spectacles. You saw this fairly enticing looking pool at the center of this mini village type, this little farming village. Dropped Morthos 2 into the liquid. He seems fine. You can still see him. And that's where we're at. So what do y'all want to do?
And I assume that's how we get to the VIP lounge. So
I mean, for sure. Yeah, that's right. They're the VIP lines.
Yeah. I had a question about these spectacles.
Sure.
So when I'm wearing them, does it mostly look normal? Other than I noticed, everything. Last time the chest was like an egg of some sort.
Everything else, other than the chest, which looks like this writhing, scaly egg, like rainbow egg. Other than that, everything looks the same. So, I would say you would probably conclude that it's more about what's like maybe a glamoring or a spell or something like that that's on the chest, as opposed to anything else. Yeah,
it's like a true seeing,
something like that. Yeah,
item.
Yep.
Okay.
So you've got these two NPCs. The one that gave you the spectacles. There's the other one that they were playing some kind of checkers game or something nearby. As you're looking around, you can see these hastily cut kelp, kind of kelp growths, and these very well manicured and well organized little gardens that you can see a couple dozen of these partially digested people farming them, ghosts and the like. When you look kind of a little bit more closely, now that you're down in it instead of up on like a ridge looking down, you can see that there's something in the kelp. Like these are very bulbous, thick pieces of kelp. They're not just like flat pieces of algae. There's like something kind of pulsating in them.
That's abnormal.
Are there any of them that look particularly harvested enough to look into it?
You can see that there's like a pile of cut stuff that's soaking wet, whereas the rest of the kelp is not submerged. The stuff that's planted isn't submerged, but like there's this pile that people seem to be coming to, grabbing some from, and then taking it out to gardens and planting it in specific places around this little mini village. Hey, Poison Ivy.
That's weird.
Yeah. Part of me just wants to like go find the VIP lounge as I look at my Platinum Premier Diamond Plus card that has guaranteed me access there.
And that was pointing down like the well, right?
Down the well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also curious about this peculiar pulsating, not normal kelp.
Thank you.
Teresa is just going to go right over to the kelp and see if her little three-headed pig can kind of get into some of it.
So your pig hops down and starts going through the big pile and pulls out a piece of damp, soaking wet orange kelp that's got this illuminated quality to it. And with all three of their heads converging on one blade, just pulling it out as strong as they can, very proudly looking up at you in a demonic and horrible looking face. And you see that inside of the kelp, there is some kind of there's like a body inside of it, like something writhing.
Is it like a fish person body?
I don't know. If you want to discern that sucker, you're welcome to do that.
Is it a one of us body?
Also wanting to take a closer look at I'm patting them on the head and giving them lots of reinforcement for what they're doing, and then taking a closer look.
If one of you wants to discern wild and take an assist die from somebody else, go for it.
I can help with none of those.
I don't have either of those.
I have discern.
Okay.
Oh, I got discern too.
Okay.
It's a discern wild.
Yeah, discern wild. So go ahead.
Which one of you
You
wants
can
to
assist
make
even
the
if
roll?
you don't have.
Yeah.
So
I'll assist.
3 dice.
It's very much just, does it make sense when you say you're assisting? It's pretty much that. Yeah, so roll 3. Okay.
Alright.
When you look at it closely, it looks like a slowly gestating and developing version of those small creatures that were being worn as necklaces around the signal box cults up in some station. Yeah. And this one is just sort of like, it's got this weird, strange, mangled hands. More than that, though, you start to notice, and probably Tarnished Steel, as he gets a closer look at these, the faces have a very distinct familiarity. They look very much like Aelfir, so high elves, which you are. And since so many high elves wander around with masks on, most people don't see them. Like, you have your stereotypical like pointed ears and angular faces, but it looks mangled and misbegotten and deformed in some way.
That has something to do with this, the well here, which last time we saw some souls, the soulfish. I'm not sure how to describe them exactly, swimming around inside of it. I wonder if they're doing something maybe a little unnatural here.
Unnatural is sure. Yeah.
Like
Everywhere we turn.
Well, yeah. I wonder if they're capturing the souls into these creatures. Or
right, and like that. I think I did tell you this last time, because as an Aelfir, you would know that part of like the afterlife or reincarnation sort of theory of them is that there's like this large slumbering oceanic like a heaven in a way, or like a purgatory where the souls kind of rest, and then they constantly are having these dream states until they are again reborn. And so this certainly looks far more foul than what you probably heard as like fairy tales or in some sort of church service or something like that.
Yeah, either this is like a sacrilege sort of thing happening here, or this is a natural process that defies all comprehension by me.
It's definitely more the former. Yeah.
So while Duvase is pondering this, she's going to grab some of that cut kelp and start munching on it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an Endure Wild test. Okay.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
You're good.
I'm starting off the night well.
Yeah.
See how this goes.
You start munching through the kelp, and it honestly just tastes like kelp. And then you get to the bulbous area where like the actual body is. Do you keep going at that point? You start.
No, I'm not trying to like eat that thing. I'm just trying to eat something of the heart.
Okay. This isn't so much heart though. I would say this is probably not really. This looks honestly just like vegetation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just within it, it has like this. It's almost like a peas in a pod situation.
Okay, I will stop at the point that I would be eating a creature.
Okay. Chicken.
I kind of want to bring whatever this is to an end.
Can I fish my body out of the well?
So when you go over to the well and you look down, he's just slowly sinking down to the ground, down into the darkness below.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
How far down is he right now?
Probably about 15 feet.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Don't worry, I'm not going after him yet. I'm not sure, but I might.
Was this body that was in the kelp still alive?
It definitely seems to be alive. Yeah, it's like breathing. It doesn't seem to be fully developed or formed yet.
Interesting. Okay.
And our previous interactions with these guys, they didn't speak or anything, correct?
No, they just were kind of. You're not sure if they were the ones in charge or if the cultists were the ones in charge, that they were being hung around. They were just playing whatever mechanisms, those little jack-in-the-box toys that they had.
I want to bring the scientist dude over and see if he knows anything about what this is or if he's heard anything about it.
He'll confirm basically what Tarnished Steel has probably already thought, in that this does bear a striking resemblance to some of the folklore surrounding the life cycle of an Aelfir. And then he'll dive into it and start examining it all crazily, like, and obsessively. While you all are lingering and looking around, you see a disturbance, and Morthos, you probably see this first. You see a disturbance in the water of the fountain, and you see something start swimming up, passing by Morthos too, and it breaks the surface. It's this strange little crustacean with all sorts of metallic carapace pieces, and it seems to be dragging this giant baleful of this kelp, and it brings it over and dumps it over where Duvesa and Kethras and Professor Behikman are looking at the kelp pieces, and then it scuttles back into the pool.
Real quick, how big is this thing?
Like a really big dog.
I want to grab it.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and it's not kill. We'll say go ahead, like maybe hunt.
Okay.
Hunt wild or hunt tech, since there's a lot of metal on it, if you want to do that instead.
I will do just hunt, because that's all I got. Oh no, I do a bad job.
Okay. So as you reach down to grab it, it'll actually turn around, and you realize that it under, like, where it's clacketing with its feet, it's also got these small razor sharp blades, almost like pincers for a lobster or a crab, and it'll turn around and snap at you as you try to grab it. And
That's fair.
Take 2 points of blood.
If I may, I might try and push him back.
Okay.
If I'm near enough.
Do you want to use your
My
session
resistance.
ability? Well, you got that one session ability where you can dive in front. Right?
It's a situation.
Situation ability. Okay. So you jump over and kind of push it out of the way, and it looks at you really quickly, and you swear it hisses at you, and then it scuttles into the water.
I hiss back. No.
Okay. It comes back out. Oh, really? Really?
Did I still take that stress?
No, because he can basically take it once per situation.
Right.
So we're considering this a situation, so he takes it.
I want to go over to that kelp thing and start peeling it back and
Okay.
see if it looks like
See if it's
similar.
more baby.
And I want
knees.
to, yeah, I want to see if it's another one of these with the weird formed baby thing in it. And
Yeah.
I want to see if
You go through them, and
the conditions of them.
they're not so much babies as they are just like these weird malformed things, as if things are not fully properly formed. You can tell that there are these really violent cuts in some of the kelp, like these horrible rips, and the kelp itself is fairly fibrous and fairly thick, and so whatever's cutting through that has to be pretty significant.
Are these cuts from the outside going in or
outside going in? Yeah.
outside going in? Okay.
Yeah.
Duvesa wants to use her old blood ability, kind of like reading the aura. So kind of the one closest to where the pigs were looking at, or the three-headed pig was looking at, just to kind of see what the emotions of these little creatures are.
They seem confused and angry. You're talking about the things inside the kelp, or like the little crab thing? Confused and angry, I would say.
Okay.
Not fully. They don't seem to be fully conscious.
This isn't the life they were meant to come back to.
This
I will share that information.
With that, listen, I know they're having a bad dream. I want to go up to one of them,
Okay.
and I want to pop this pot open,
Done.
and I want to give the occupant a good slap.
Okay. So you slap it
Thank
around
you,
a
the
bit,
newborn.
and
Yeah,
it
just pat, pat,
and
pat.
eventually it wakes up, and its eyes start darting around wildly confused. And even though it has these things have no legs, they just have these long kind of normal sized arms, and it begins to just start swiping in all sorts of directions at whoever's near it. You're not sure if it's attacking you specifically, or if it's just, and it gets confused, starts swiping,
Splashing out.
and then it tries to dart away.
Okay, guys, that obviously was a mistake, but I'm glad you got it out of the way early, so we can figure out what to do next.
Duvesa actually wanted to try to grab it.
Okay. Roll a hunt, wild.
I
I'll
imagine you
assist.
can't go too far with just arms.
Yeah.
I have nothing of those, so
I have hunts.
You gotta. Okay. So, Kethras, you can
So-
try, and Devesa maybe corners it. So Kethras, you can roll
Yeah.
it, take an assist die.
Okay. That would be 3 then.
Sounds like it. Should be 1 normal, 1
Mhm.
hunt, 1 assist.
Yep.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, you're easily able to grab it. It's slimy and slithery. It tries to call out as if it's trying to scream and yell, but like there's nothing coming out of the throat. No voice, no sound whatsoever.
You can see it
And-
like miming the action to try and do that though.
Just seems to still be confused, and it's clawing away at you as well. It's not quite making any sort of gains yet, but it's certainly wearing through some of your clothing. It's going to start stretching some things eventually.
It sounds very bizarre.
How strong is it? Am I able to just like
It's pretty strong.
bend its arms down and try and
It's pretty strong. It's got very, its arms are very lithe, so doesn't need to be a whole lot of musculature to it, but it's got surprising amounts of strength.
Is there anyone around who seems to care that we just did this?
I mean, you're getting strange looks by the two digested folks who are playing checkers,
guy.
and they've got this terrible look on their face, like how dare you do something like this? Like you're blaspheming, or you're doing something so out of bounds of what they've seen lately that it just shocks them.
I'm gonna do like
Good to know.
struggling trying to hold it. Like, what are we doing with this?
Let's ask
Ow.
it question, guys.
Can we?
I'll
It
go
sounds
up
like it.
to it and
I
I'll
think
get it
it's
face
not
to
able to
face.
speak.
I'd be like, give me a nod if you understand me.
Okay. Thinks about it, stops for a second, nods, and then quickly goes back to scratching Kethras.
Okay. Listen, obviously it understands us. It just doesn't like you, Kethras.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fucking.
Maybe
stop.
I need to hold it, and I need to show it that I'm one of its kind.
Or we just need to ask it more questions and prove that we're friendly.
Well, I'll try and make myself visible at least.
And so when you do make yourself visible, it will lunge towards you. The face will suddenly contort into a visage of just utter hatred, snarling, teeth being barren and shown as it's reaching in Tarnished-Steel's direction.
Oh no!
I'm going to ask you to roll an endure test, Kethras, to see if you can hang on to this thing.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah,
Oh, this did not work like I thought it would.
endure wild will do.
I will be a calming presence. No, I won't.
I don't
I'll,
have either of those.
I
One-
whisper over to Duvesa, like, listen, I had the same reaction when I saw him first time. So it's fine. Everything's fine.
Success but stress.
Okay, so you're able to keep it from leaping out of your arms and attacking Tarnished-Steel, but you're going to take 6 points of blood resistance
Holy!
Oh my
Fuck.
god.
as it just carves through your neck.
I don't think I
Ah.
could reasonably protect you from that,
Yeah,
since
so-
you're protecting me from it.
and
But I still have it.
So, what's your total fallout or total stress? Excuse me.
With that, 12.
Oh
you
my
have now suffered
I'm so sorry,
a
Joe.
major fallout as this thing starts scraping away at you.
You're right.
I'm
This was
definitely-
all your fault, Dan.
Let me take a
I
look
Oh,
thought this would
no.
be
at
good.
the major fallouts.
I'll put my
excited.
helmet back down and cry on the inside.
I'm gonna say, let's see. I was saying it was scratching at your neck.
Yeah.
We'll
Oh,
say I'm gonna say I'll give you a choice. Do you want to get an arterial wound or do you want to be blinded? So
I want
arterial,
to be blinded.
arterial wound at the end of every situation where you have this fallout marks D6 stress to blood. You're gonna basically that's rough.
I think I can try to heal that,
Would she be able to heal that? Yeah, that was.
Because I do have the
They're
men's
both
skill.
blood. They're both blood. So.
They're both blood.
Mhm.
And the other one's just I'm blind.
Yeah, any task you can still do stuff. It just all of it becomes dangerous.
I mean, that could be healed.
What does
too,
dangerous do?
presumably?
Dangerous just means you have to drop the highest 2 dice before you roll. Like I mean, after you roll, before you assess the roll. So if you're rolling,
I think that's spurt neck. It's way cooler.
Okay.
It's way cooler, but I think the safer bet is to take blind.
I think spurting neck. I'll spit on it. It'll just trickle. It'll be better.
It'll be great.
We'll go arterial wound. And so this thing just slashes through your neck, and you see blood, like this discolored nature of blood from this already dead individual who has returned, just starts splurting out like a Monty Python, episode.
Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
So then Duvesa kind of turns her attention away from this little creature thing. Just kind of spits in her hand.
Wait. I have to see.
Okay.
It's got something.
Deathfall is close. You're followed by a manifestation. The first time each session you suffer major blood, mind, or fortune fallout, your death manifests to protect you and inflicts a D8 of stress on whatever caused the fallout.
Wow. That is so good. That is so good.
Oh, goodness.
So
now we just attacked the little creature.
I'm a little less sorry now, Joe.
Roll a D8 for stress
Not
against
a lot,
this
but
thing.
a little.
Okay.
Wow.
6.
Okay. So this thing, as it tries to scrape away at your neck, you can see that the spectral image reaches forward in an attempt to kind of parry it, but in so doing just slices clean through like the torso of this thing, and the little tiny crazy half-developed form of some mutated Aelfir just goes utterly limp in your body as this black blood begins to ooze down onto your clothes. It's dead.
This is all wrong.
Ugh.
That went.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Listen,
Duvesa's going to turn to the scientist and say, like, you want to study this, right? You want to take this?
Is this
study
normal?
it? So she's trying
I don't
to, like,
have black
pass
blood,
off
do I?
this figure.
So Professor Behekman has started to do some interviews with some of the desiccated. I keep saying desiccated. Some of the digested folks around. Kind of get some. He's busy studying, kind of going through the kelp farms and sort of looking at everything. Yeah.
Then she's just going to like walk right up and just sort of put it in his face. Like, you want this? You want to study this?
And he'll chastise you and all of you for killing this specimen. Like, how could you do this? We don't even know what this is, and you're already killing it.
For science, this is what you do.
It tried to kill first.
It tried to kill me.
Yes. And so he thinks about it, and he's like, oh, well, best not cry over spilled milk. And so he'll drop it to the ground, and he'll start kind of poking and prodding it, doing a little dissection, saying,
we all had a little part in that.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
When you touch the brow of a recently dead person, you can ask their spirit a single question before it fades away.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
The ability I picked up.
Okay.
I'm
Why do
going
you
to
hate
quickly
it so
say,
much?
like, I have a little bit. Is there anything we want to ask it before? Yeah, I'm going to pitch this to the party.
what did it have for
Hey.
lunch?
I mean, I want to know why it hates me.
No. I think it hates you because you're an elf.
But it is too,
It is
sort of.
Unexpected.
I'm going to look
I wanna
at
know
it
if
and
it
then
had a
back at you
choice.
and then back at it.
I mean,
I'm like, I think you're
Ooh.
different.
I like
Yeah.
Duvesa's question.
What is it?
Like, I want to know if it had a choice. Like, if
Okay.
it wanted to be recreated like this.
I'll do that.
That's a complicated question.
Or you could ask it if
It
it
is.
what it had for lunch.
That's a far easier
It's
question.
just,
to answer.
I could ask, like, is this what
Dominus.
you wanted or something?
I mean, it probably didn't want to be dead, but it'll say,
Yeah, not the us killing it part.
Yeah, not us killing
Is,
it.
is this existence what you desired?
okay,
Yeah,
maybe.
it will convey in a fairly intelligent way that yes, this is what it wanted. It wanted to be born. No, it didn't want to die so quickly, and it continues to express hatred to Tarnished Steel. And
Oh
Okay.
no!
I imagine that's how it fades out. Just
yeah, it's like
angry.
Fuck
at it.
you, guy! Fuck you!
flicks the bird and fades away. Tell Tarnished Steel, he's a dick.
Oh, I don't even know what I did wrong. I'm so confused about so many things right now.
Yeah.
I don't have black blood in me, do I?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Again, these just seem
This
like
is a real question.
yeah, they just seem like Yeah, they don't seem right. They don't seem fully formed. They have similar traits to Aelfir, but they seem darker, something, cursed in some way, something like that.
They're not like
how
the
are-
other
how are the
elf
other
type, are they?
No,
people
they're not like
around
drow.
us?
No.
How are the other people around us reacting to us killing one of these?
You're getting like shocks, and these are all former professor types, and so none of them are going to accost you in any way. But you're seeing a lot of shocked faces, a lot of murmuring, as much as they're capable of speaking. And the guy who gave you the spectacles has wandered clear away from you. And while this is all happening, another one of those little scullers comes up from the pool, drops off another delivery, and it goes back in. And when you look down, you can see that Morthos is even further. Morthos 2 is even further down. Like 30
I'm
feet.
done
like-
with Morthos too. He's gone to me now.
Does he still have his air bubble on him?
Yeah, you can see like little bubbles of air kind of popping up.
I mean, like I remember he had like a bubble around his head, just kind of magically formed.
Yeah, that eventually like caved in, and then all just sort of regular bubbles, as if somebody underneath the water was breathing.
Vase is going to examine all of the men that are here and the creatures just to make sure that none of them matches the faces she's looking for.
No, none of them. Some of the faces are completely not recognizable. Stomach acids and the like have torn away at things.
Here's me wishing I'd taken that one.
Are these acids and
minor
things
skill
like
that
in
let me
this
breathe
area,
underwater.
or is it like are we getting the?
Say that again, Joe.
Are these acids and things that are like eating away at them in this
No, it's just
area that we're at, or is it just from like
digestion.
their track getting into here?
Yeah, you guys were
That's
better at moving down. Plus, they were kind of forced to be here. You all chose.
Right. Okay.
I feel like it's either killing scientist time or going further down time. Unless there's something else we want to find here.
Are any of the people doing anything with these pods once they're being dropped off?
Yeah, they're
Or aren't
planting
they
them.
Planting them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're planting them in like the belly lining of this giant fish.
I
Is
like any of it.
there somewhere within this little farm where there are ones that are like more developed, like that might be ready to kind of come out like on their own that we're not
But
gonna,
I
like-
was
Yeah.
about to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, some definitely seem to be more developed than others.
I'm gonna make sure
Let's
I'm
find a ripe one and go
less
open it up.
invisible now.
So
Make
you
sure my armor's down.
open up a more ripe one, and these digested corpses and ghosts are like swatting you with various farming equipment as you do so, but they are very ineffectual at stopping you. And yeah, you open it up. Much the same reaction happens, except this is even stronger, more fully.
I don't try and
formed.
stop it. Like I just open it up to see what's inside, and then
Tarnished, are you nearby?
I'm making sure I'm concealed and not so in sight this time.
Go ahead and roll a sneak test, and
Oh boy, I'm
you
not
can
good at those.
you can make this haven, or you can make this wild. You are in a little town, so
I've got none of those. So
roll all threes.
hey, it's a 9.
Oh,
So once it wakes up, it looks around, and then it's going to dart away from you all and kind of disappear out of the town, this little mini town, as if it's escaping to somewhere else inside the Barracuda area. Maybe
Back
back.
But
towards
it's-
where we came, or
Possibly.
okay. Well, listen.
Can I try and track where it's going briefly? I just want to get an idea.
Yeah, I mean, you follow it, and it does seem like it's crawling back up that large kind of swale that you came down to reach, and it seems to possibly be trying to track its way back out.
Okay.
So these things were they were very aggressive towards you all when you were up top, and they were on those signal box cultists, and between the two were kind of facilitating the movement of these professors into the fish.
I think
Yeah,
I want to.
I think it's all bad.
I think I want
much.
to send a Grim Reaper after it.
Hey, Guido.
So I have a ability called Grim Reaper, where once per fight, basically, I get to use my spectral shadow dude,
Okay.
and he gets to make a D8 ranged attack.
Okay.
And I think once it's running out of the town, I'm just like, these things were not our friends before, and I don't want to deal with this later.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a kill test, and you can treat this as wild or haven, since you're shooting as it leaves this little community.
Okay.
Good luck.
Let's do that.
I'm ready to just start like slash and burn this whole place.
Freak.
No.
So does that stress go to you, or does that stress go to your...
I'm assuming to me because my thing doesn't have any way of.
Okay. So we'll say take 4 points of supply stress as you kind of like. You're doing range of some kind, right?
Right. Well, this is range of me basically sending the specter thing out.
Okay.
I'm commanding it to
Okay.
do this attack for me.
We'll say 4 points of mind stress as it doesn't seem to want to follow whatever orders you're giving it, and you have some weird disconnect that begins to have feedback into your brain.
What's the difference between mind and echo?
Mind is literally just like your brain, thoughts, feeling. Echo is more like spiritual kind of thing.
Okay.
If the roll is equal to or lower than your total stress, what's your total stress?
Total stress is 10.
Okay, so you're going to suffer a minor fallout, and since that was mind,
it's coming after you no matter what.
you can go ahead and drop your mind all the way down.
Back to 0.
And we'll say, where's mind? It's in here somewhere. We'll say that you... we'll say your mind gets clouded as like you're distracted by this strange cacophonous voice of this Grim Reaper that's shouting back to you. So clouded, it's ongoing. Your mind starts to shut down. Basically, you don't get any extra dice from domains.
Ooh. Okay.
So all the while...
For how long?
It's ongoing until you clear it.
How do I clear it?
You can visit a haunt that has the ability to remove mind stress and exchange the amount of like the D6 or something.
I have bootleg ambrosia as equipment, which is mend mind D6.
Okay, and you can go ahead and, if you want to do that, roll D6, and then take back that much amount. Or actually, no, since you're doing the fallout, right?
Yeah.
Might be too late for that.
Yeah, I think it's too late for that. I think you have to now you have to clear the fallout. So that sounded like that was for stress, you said, right?
Okay, I'm confused on how that works, I guess.
So stress is sort of a abstract concept. It's just sort of building something up. And then fallout is like a specific concrete representation of that stress. So when you had stress, you could have cleaned it off of you. But now that you have fallout, it's like an actual effect.
Okay. So the mend mind thing doesn't remove a fallout effect from mind. It just removes mind stress.
Right.
Okay. So I have to find some way to clear that.
When you guys get to some other havens, there'll actually be people to heal and things. So all the while, more and more of these things have been coming up. Like you're definitely like there's definitely some sort of machination below that is like causing more of this kelp to keep continuing coming up.
That's why I say I'm just waiting for everybody else to be ready for me to just like.
Yeah, do we want to go down and stop the production line?
I am super ready to not be the first one to jump down.
I'm ready to be the first one.
You already were the first one. You already did.
Well, that's true. I'll be the first and the third.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm ready if we're all ready.
After you.
Yep.
I might have somebody put a rope on me though.
Okay.
I'll provide
You
the
got a
rope
rope?
if we need.
Okay. I'll hold onto that rope loosely.
So
I mostly just want you to be able to pull me back up. I'm wearing armor.
okay.
I mean, I imagine I can swim in it, but probably not that well.
So how do you go in? Do you like cannonball or do you like slowly dip in? What kind of person are you when you go into a pool?
Swan dive.
Since there's
swan
lots
dive.
of fuckiness with this pool in particular, I'm gonna ease my way in because I want to know if it's. Because I want to test if I can maneuver in it or not.
It's a toe dip and a step
you,
at a time.
You go into the water, and it very much feels like water as you get it. It's a little cool, but you start to sink like you normally would. You have a lot of stuff on you, but you're not sinking rapidly. As you go down a few feet, completely submerged, you can start to feel like these air bubbles begin to permeate around you, and you can see them forming. They're kind of going in your nose and in your mouth. You feel a strange pressure on your chest as you're slowly sinking. When you look around as this is happening, kind of holding your breath a bit, you can see that there are these little skittering, those little tiny scarab type things, the crustaceans, the crabs, running and swimming along. And you can see they're collecting all these big bales of, and actually developing bales of kelp. But what you can see is for as far as the eye can see, you can see rows and rows of massively tall, glowing, beautiful kelp that is in far better condition. It's huge. It's beautiful. I would say as an Aelfir, maybe there's a certain like feeling you might get. I don't know how much you subscribe to it, but there's definitely
natural beauty.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous, serene moment. And then you notice that there is a giant crab that seems to be hacking away at all of them, cutting this down. In the far distance, you can see almost like a city, these purplish and bluish colors, like miles away in this dark water. And you're continuing to sink, and you've almost caught up with Morthos 2 at this point. And you realize you haven't breathed in some time. You almost start to convulse a little bit. And then it dawns on you that you're actually breathing the liquid. It's like the abyss. As you're starting to have no problem whatsoever breathing down here at all.
So even within it, I'm like totally cool.
Totally cool. Everything's fine. There's a giant crab with these two huge things slashing through these ridiculously tall, beautiful, glowing pieces of kelp that are your ancestors / progeny.
Yeah, I don't like that very much. How freely do I feel like I can move? Is it like moving in water where everything's just like
No, you're all right. I mean, it's you're talking about in terms of like how much resistance is there.
Yeah.
Less than you would have suspected, but it's definitely not like walking in air. But it's less than what you would have expected. There's a lighter quality to it down here.
Okay. So I feel like I could
mobility seems okay.
Function. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I assume I'm going right for the bottom.
Yeah, you continue to sink, and you haven't actually seen the floor yet. And you can see Morthos is still going. At a certain point, the rope becomes taut, and you've gone as far as the rope's going to let you go.
How hard would it be for me to try and get to Morthos and then make my way back to the rope? Morthos, the sinker. Morthos, the sinker.
You could swim down and get him. You'd have to undo yourself.
If I feel like I can move in the water,
yeah, you feel fine.
I'll undo myself and I'll try to get second to Morthos, and maybe I'll return up to the surface and try and relay.
Okay. So you do that. You swim down.
And hope that I'm fine with air now when I get back up there.
When you pop back out, there's definitely a moment where you have to readjust, and like your breath feels kind of weird and unsettling, but it eventually settles enough that you can speak. Plop old Morthos 2 on the edge of the pool, convey that there seems to be a giant crab that's the cause of all this.
I want to end that crab. Just saying. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but
what did the crab do to you? Listen, like
destroying my heritage.
Could we get like some butter and maybe like some lemon.
After we kill the crab, I'll find you butter and lemon.
And
Put
you
that
can
as my
breathe
new
down
beat.
there, right?
Surprisingly, yes. Quite well.
And the rest
Alright.
of us breathe under there.
That's a question for you.
You
I'm
got
I'm gonna
walk over to the
cannonball
edge of the
in and
pond
see
and
if it's
just-
breathable.
Oh, okay.
You're
Jump
gonna
my head
cannonball in? Okay.
Do basic
I think-
cannonball then, and we're gonna find out.
Same basic reaction to you. You feel it's a little weird at first, but your chest eventually adjusts, and yeah, you seem to be able to breathe the water just fine. It's peculiar for you. It's a kind of weird sensation as you're looking out on what is likely the purgatory afterlife of the Aelfir. But and you can see the giant crab. You can see the glowing skyline in the distance, far off away.
So Devesa is gonna pop back out and be like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Everybody, come on in."
I'll toss in other Morthos and jump in right after
He's
him.
coming back in. All right. My objectives here. I want to see that city. I want to kill that crab.
Okay.
So
I'm
whoever
down
wants-
with seeing that city. Killing that crab, I'm kind of iffy on. That's a
I mean,
big.
it depends on
crab.
how big
very
that
big.
crab is. I suppose.
I want to test. Are we able to speak to each other?
It's a little muffled, but yes, it's
Okay.
it's not it's a little slower. Everything's just a wee bit slower, but from what you can tell, everything's a little bit wee bit slower. Even the crabs kind of moving around is a little bit slower.
The sound like not travel as far.
No, it reverberates okay. It's just muffled.
Just a
Muffled.
thought, real quick. Is the crab in between us and the city, or would we be able to go to the city
It's a
first?
vast open ocean, and you can see
Okay,
kelp.
like we could just.
Yeah, you could completely bypass it if you want.
There may be some merit in going to the city first to learn information, and then go after my selfish objective of killing that crab.
I am down once again. Morthos and I are down with the city.
Mhm.
Perhaps
that
that'll
crab.
be a beat for me next time to go fight a monstrosity single-handedly.
Off to the city then.
Yeah.
I won't make you all come with me to death.
Is a scientist dude coming with us or professor?
I
He
think.
better be.
I mean, do you want him to?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll leave it up to his
He will.
discretion.
He will begrudgingly jump in. We'll say Zerk.
Okay.
Zerk is eating a turkey leg, and he'll jump in too, as well,
Cool.
following along
I
at
mean,
great distance.
He's got to be eating all the things.
Yeah, he's just eating turkey legs over and over again. It's like I have so many
Well-
knacks and wild. It's ridiculous. All this turkey, so much wild turkey.
As we're traveling, because it's probably going to take a bit to get over to that city. Does
It
seem
would be
like
a
it's
delve.
pretty-
Very much would be a delve at this point. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my!
Let's delve away.
awesome.
Okay.
Someday in the future, we can come back, kill the crab, and burn all the kelp. But
The
not
kelp
today.
must be saved.
Listen, our job was to find out what's
The
turning
kelp
these.
up there needs to be burned, but the kelp down here should be saved.
Yeah.
I think it's all the same kelp.
It's not quite.
So when you say muffled speech, is it like if you're far away from someone, can you tell they're talking, but it's harder to understand unless you're close?
Just a little slower. Like it's like hello, Morthos. Hello, do you get like a whale talking? I don't know. Just call it that.
Works for me.
You know how whales talk.
It won't have any mechanical detriment to anything you do. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, it might be a mechanical benefit for what I'm trying to do.
That baby.
Is if it does, because one of my beats is involving an NPC in my master's schemes.
Okay.
And I think because my master is the library and they're all about knowledge and information, it kind of aligns with the professor's MO.
Okay.
It'd probably be pretty easy to eventually coax him into it. So I'm trying to find bits where I'd be able to talk to him, not openly in front of everybody, but
Sure. I mean, on a delve, even though we spotlight a few specific moments, there's tons of hours we don't really talk about. So you could easily find
Right.
time to pull them aside.
yeah.
Duvesa is also going to watch the crab Same thing, doing old blood, trying to read the aura and see if the crab is like enslaved into doing this, or the crab is like enjoying this process.
You get, interestingly enough, no read at all from the crab, but instead like 100 cacophonous reads, like these smaller sensations that seems to be very confusing, difficult to discern, but definitely a great sense of like vindication, an exultation for what they're doing. So as opposed to one, there's many.
It's a bunch of little crabs making a mega crab.
Someone said Voltron, so I said, okay, Voltron works.
Voltron.
It's more than
I have a
Crabtron.
series of weird questions for you, Jeff.
those are my favorite kind.
Volcrab.
Is Bernthos wearing pants?
Would you like him to be wearing pants?
Yes.
Okay, he's got some pants on.
Okay.
They're hammer pants.
Beautiful. That's even better. Were you ever in the Boy Scouts when you were younger?
I was not. I'm sorry.
Okay. You could make life preservers, like wet pants holds air,
Okay.
Yeah.
and you can tie. Yeah. Once I realized what's going on, I want to take Bernthos and I back to the surface,
Okay.
take his pants off,
Sure.
make a life preserver, and I never gave Dan his rope back.
Okay.
So I want to make an underwater Morthos balloon.
That sounds wonderful. As you bring Bernthos, or whatever the hell we're calling him, up to the surface and take his pants off, the looks that you get from all of the digested people are probably the most confused, and at a certain point, just a resigned shrug of, I guess this is just what we are now. And they turn around and go back to work.
Okay.
And yeah, you manage to, it takes maybe a half an hour, whatever, and you get it working.
Yeah.
And you hop
Should
back
just take a
inside.
handful of minutes. You just
I have no idea. I have no.
yeah, just a handful of minutes. I
All
can
you're
tie
doing
it
is
around his
tying
neck.
the legs and the waist.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and I make
I
a
wasn't in Boy
Morthos,
Scouts, but I know this.
an
Okay.
underwater Morthos balloon.
You now have an underwater Morthos balloon. Done.
I am so happy. Let's
Okay.
go. We're going to see the
Jeff, where in your prep notes was underwater Morthos?
It's like third bullet point down. It's right there. It's right
I just
there.
didn't get far enough down yet.
Yeah. It's after eat the weird kelp baby things. And like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, this is
All
all
Didn't
Right
I
on
call
track.
it weird kelp?
all
baby?
right on track.
Yeah.
All right. So you're bypassing the big crab thing and you're going to the
Oh,
lights
yeah.
in the distance.
For now.
All right.
For
Yeah.
now.
Okay. So we're beginning a new delve then.
Yes.
Real quick
Let's
on these.
We want to at least get a contract to kill the crab before we
Yeah.
attack it. You know?
Right. If you're good at something, don't do it for free. On these kelps that are down here along the bottom, are the pods of varying size?
Yes, and they're also much taller. And you
Okay.
can see, if you get close to some of them, you can see like you can see fully formed Aelfir in them, like high elves.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
not the weird, whatever you would call them that made it up to the top.
I would say you probably can discern from everything that's been going on that whatever this crab and those other crabs and those little things are doing,
sacrilege.
it's fairly sacrilegious. They're taking the bodies, the dreaming bodies of these high elves, cutting them short in some way and using them to birth whatever those little legless creatures are.
Okay.
I'm filled with dissatisfaction.
Listen here, Tarnished Steel. You might be right, but I still don't want to fight that thing.
It's pretty big.
Like I said, I'm not going to make you all come with me.
Gervais is going to look and see if there's any stragglers, because this appeared to be one singular crab.
Mhm.
Then, from an aura sense, there's a lot of them.
There are
Are there
other
any little,
there are the smaller crabs that Morthos saw, and I scalded up, and they're kind of like runners. But when you specifically scanned that giant crab, you got that kind of 100 different thoughts, kind of.
Okay. But the
bombarded.
exterior is just one solid.
One giant crab. You guys are a decent distance away from it, because it sounds like you're trying to be avoidant. So, assuming you're staying as far away from it,
It
as
could be
legitimately
an
possible.
amalgamation that we can't see yet.
Yeah. Morthos, Balloon, and I are ready to go to the
Okay.
the city.
And every time it swaths through some of the kelp, you can feel like a reverberation in the water, like this, like voices just shouting, like, "Ah!" And a little pain hits your heart there, tarnished steel. But we're going to jump into the next delve. It's exciting.
Makes me sad.
So you,
Yeah, we're gonna need to come back and do something about this.
Yeah,
sometime.
but
Yeah.
I'd like to be informed.
it's
first
very
of all.
it's very dark. Do any of you? I mean, like I would say, some of you are probably carrying like mage light lanterns or something like that. Torches obviously wouldn't work here, but like a mage light lantern, pop that out, can give you some light. But you don't really have any sunlight coming down. Periodically, like a shimmering school of fish shows up to give some level of view, but they disappear. Often they swirl around tarnished steel briefly and then dart away. You also see whole squadrons of these illuminated manta rays like flying past you overhead, occasionally giving you more sight of what's around. But at this great distance, it just looks like a bizarre underwater city skyline with all sorts of purples and blues and bright greens and pinks. But you begin to delve.
I'm gonna do my roll before we do that.
Okay, go for it.
Getting your prediction on?
Yep.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Feeling a little underpowered here. You know, the fire wizard underwater doesn't do a lot of good.
I don't think
Sorry
any
about
of us do very good underwater, truth be told.
So you
You
got
do better than the
try.
fire wizard underwater.
How soon, as we're coming down into this, can we tell it's going to be pretty dark?
pretty quickly. I mean, once you get further, I mean, like there's rows and rows of kelp, but once you start passing away from them, and then maybe an hour's worth of walking along the bottom of the sea and swimming, eventually the kelp kind of runs dry. If you're going in the direction of the city,
Right. I want to try taking some supply stress to see if I can find like a light source in my pack.
I would say you just
that?
have it. Like you don't even have to take the stress. Like that's what the supplies is
Okay.
for. It would be if something went wrong and you took stress at some point, then that's when I might do the damage. Like you might take stress, but you're good.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay, so what were the predictions there, Duvesa?
I'm thinking.
How flammable is this water?
Not enough.
It tastes like
yeah.
kerosene. It's really strange.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Is there
we're-
any fracking nearby?
All right. What do you, let's hear him.
One is going to be moving something that's heavy. So
Okay.
something that's heavy will be moved successfully.
Got it.
One is going to have to do with catching your breath. So that could either be like kind of a water breathing, catching your breath, or kind of recovering, catching your breath after something.
I'll say possibly an endure test too. Sounds like that might work. Okay.
Okay. And my last omen. Tasting, like last one's going to be kind of around like eating. So like eating something
Okay.
that and being okay with it.
Okay. All right. All right. So you travel out and away from the kelp, and it's a good hour or two, and you're making progress. You can see the lights getting bigger in the distance. Periodically, you feel something swim around you. There's sand and shells and such on the ground.
Sand, it gets everywhere.
You start to feel a bit of sort of pressure weighing down on you as you look up, and you no longer see any kind of light anywhere above you. Like there's no more any sort of reflect. It seems like you've been going steadily down. Doesn't everyone make an endure test? And you can do this at you can do this with wild, and you can do it with desolate.
Let me think if I need to
Is that
do a
standard?
thing here.
Mhm. Standard.
I need to try and improve my rolls a little bit here. With an
I-
ability.
failed and take stress.
Me too.
Wait, how do I know which one's mine?
I'll go ahead and roll it.
You have to hover over it, Joe.
I crit succeeded.
Okay.
That was on a single D10.
Nice.
Yeah, I also single D10. I passed but took stress.
Okay, so we'll do this. So all of you who took stress, go ahead and roll a d6.
Oh, no, so much stress.
We're descending. I got a 6.
I got a 5.
We'll make it mind stress as the darkness begins to envelop you. You feel things bumping you or sliding past you in the water. You feel a sudden surge of like a gust or a current come past you. You don't really see any light other than the tiny little mage light lantern that Kethras or someone else is carrying.
I took 3.
We'll start with Dan.
Oh no.
Dan, is your fallout equal to or lower than 2? Or actually, wait, I said that backwards.
It's 9.
Okay, so you're going to take minor mind fallout. We'll say you are shaken. You panic and fall back on your primitive impulses. We'll say that you start slashing out in the darkness at any of these things that are bumping against you. And then, let's see,
Actually, I'm going to try to do something real quick, actually. So I've got a couple skills that can work together. So in the blood, when I take stress, I can put it to echo instead.
Okay.
And then with Crucible, at any time I can roll a d6. If it's equal to or under your current echo stress, you can clear
Okay.
the stress. Or I add it, so it's kind of that pressure lock kind of a thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to try that.
So you want to put this into Echo.
Yep. So I put it in echo, and then I'm going to roll a d6.
Same thing, too, for you, Chuck. We'll say
What am I doing?
you are also shaken.
Okay.
So
Hopefully we don't bump into each other.
So I'm sorry, what did Shaken do again?
I'll resolve in a second. I want to figure out
Okay,
Duvace's
coolio.
thing. What's going on?
So I rolled a 2,
Okay.
which is less than my current stress, so I get to take 2 stress out
Okay.
of echo.
Did you mark any stress whatsoever?
At the end of the day, I ended up getting 1.
Okay, so then we do roll for fallout. Since you do whenever you mark stress. So I'm rolling really low.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna say the 3 of you
We're all freaking out, man.
all begin to panic as Kethras has been moving a little bit too far ahead, talking with Professor Behekman about library things, and we'll say that Zerk is really far behind, picking stuff up along the way and just biting it, like eating shells and rocks and stuff. And so there's not a whole lot of light,
all the things.
and you feel like you all get bumped. So why don't all of you roll? Go ahead and roll kill desolate tests.
Oh no.
As you start swinging into the darkness and fighting whatever might be there. Maybe there's something there, maybe it's each other.
I hope it's something else, because I passed mine. Oh no.
I failed and I take stress. I just want everyone to know that I've got 17 stress at this point.
Are you reducing?
Wow.
Did you reduce your mind stress to 0?
Since we took the
No.
minor fallout, the mind stress.
You
should
took
go
minor
to 0
fallout
now.
and mind, so reduce your mind to 0.
Oh, that's good because I had 10 in mind.
There you go.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Holy crap.
I'm at 7 right now.
that's deep.
Okay, so Kethras, as you're talking, you hear like the slow kind of murmuring of fighting. You hear the clashing of metal on metal. You hear like the shouts from behind, and when you start hustling
behind.
back, you see these three idiots just beating the crap out of each other.
Oh, no, that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put the mag light over.
Yeah.
I'm giving somebody a whip half for my shield, probably.
What are you doing?
And so let's see.
I took stress.
Okay, I'm going through this. This is complicated.
Yeah, who's gonna get beaten from who?
Okay, so
You want to just roll a D3? Well, a D2.
Morthos
I
is the
guess,
only
for
one who
each of our
failed.
attacks.
Morthos is the only one who failed. So Morthos, go ahead and take. I'm gonna roll 2d6s here. Take 6 total blood stress as both of them manage to hit you.
Oh no!
And,
I have 1 protection, so I only take 5.
So we'll do a fallout
You
now
might take another fallout.
for blood
My
this
total
time.
stress for blood. Okay.
Total stress. What's your total stress?
My total stress right now with that blood is 12.
All right, so you're gonna take a major blood fallout as we'll say you have a broken arm.
Okay.
As Tarnished Steel lunges out with his shield just as Kethras comes back, it's too late by the time you see that it's Morthos that you're about to hit, and you can hear the cracking of Morthos's arm. So you can see it there.
Ah!
Okay. It's going to make some of the tasks risky or dangerous depending on what you want to do.
Okay.
So basically anything that's going to take 2 hands or something like that will probably be risky or dangerous. If you can do it with 1 hand, you're fine.
Cool.
All right.
And everybody took stress.
Does dangerous mean something different when it's a weapon versus when it's like an action?
Nope. Dangerous is just it's like a difficulty roll. So it's just when you compile your dice pool, you roll your dice pool, and then if something's dangerous, you eliminate the first two highest results.
The best 2 rolls.
Yeah, the best 2 rolls first. Risky is you eliminate the best roll first, and then you assess whether or not you passed. So
Okay.
a lot of the things you fight in this game have like risky or dangerous, and that's kind of how you determine. That's one of the ways you determine how difficult they are.
And what was it that? Because I have an ability that says my hands become D8 dangerous
Mm-hmm. So
for kill checks.
So
That might be a quality instead.
I'll double check tags really quick. Dangerous, when you inflict stress with this item and roll the maximum amount, you can mark D6 stress to blood. So with your claws that are dangerous, whenever you attack with them, and then you roll your stress die, if you roll it's D6 you said?
D8.
D8. If you roll an 8 on a D8, you also are going to take D6 stress to blood.
I take D6, or do I deal an extra D6?
No, you take it.
If I roll max.
If you roll max.
Oh.
Don't roll max, Joe.
Don't do
Well, I don't know
good.
if I want that ability.
Just
Okay.
do
Go for the hard
great.
7. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't do good.
Okay.
Do great.
So you continue moving, and
But not
eventually,
best.
an hour or 2 passes, and you get closer and closer, and you realize it's not so much a city that you've been looking at this whole time, but rather a very ornate and colorful coral reef concoct. It's massive. It's as big as a city. You see these large, towering, strange reefs. You see sea anemone, writhing like used car salesman lot things, and
Like an inflatable flying arm
exactly.
guys.
And as you look around and you realize that trying to swim up and over it would probably be absolutely exhausting, and so trying to navigate through these corridors is going to require a delve check. Who would like to lead the way and try to?
I have a thing that helps me with delve, and I'm skilled in delve.
Okay,
Um,
I'll do delve wild.
okay. I only have delve.
Okay.
So, but it's better than nothing.
I see an enemy.
Or it's not.
The puns. Okay. All right.
There is some fail.
All right. So as you begin delving into the actual caves themselves, all of you can feel like these glowing fingers reaching out and sticking to you from the anemone. Periodically, you see fish kind of fly by, and it's just like almost like they're grabbing you, and you have to like pull past. So you're going to take 4 points of supply stress, as it's a good half an hour by the time when you reach into your pocket, maybe looking for rations or something like that, you realize that there's something missing. You're like, oh, there's something gone.
They took my Snickers.
That's going to be a roll.
Yep, for all of us.
What's your total stress there,
More than 8.
Dan?
6.
Okay, if your roll is equal to or lower than your total stress, so it's beyond that, you're fine.
Was that for everyone?
No, you guys didn't assist, so
Oh,
you
cool.
only get the stress if you
Oh.
assist.
Oh, all right. I
S-
took one for the team then.
Someone else.
How
Do
much
it.
stress was that? 3 or 4?
He took 4,
4.
but you didn't progress the delve though.
Nope.
So somebody else want to try to do that? Can continue to try to
Sure.
navigate these. All right, delve
Good one.
wild. Someone can
One of either
assist
of
you.
those?
I will help with delve. So
You already know all the things not to do. So you got to know what to
Right.
do, right?
Yes. Well, that didn't go well, so let's do it again, but better this time.
You do manage to get through these circuitous, winding caves filled with all sorts of these glowing bits and pieces. But again, by the time you pass them, Duvesa, you realize that, again, it just grabbed something of yours. 3 points of supply stress.
I also take that.
Yes, because you are assisting her. So both you,
Yep.
10. How does 10 compare to your stresses?
It is one more.
Under.
Okay.
It's under for me.
Okay. So 10 is equal to or lower than your total stress, Duvesa?
Yes, it is.
All right. So you're going to take supply stress. It's going to be major for you, or major supplies fallout. What kind of cool items do you have on you? Something that would make you really mad at me if I said you lost.
Give me just a second, and I'll be right back.
I don't have much of anything. I have the punch card with my name on it, which I was super attached to. So if you took that punch card, I would be so upset.
Your pig's missing.
Damn it! That was the next thing.
Oh,
Your
that
pig's missing.
hurts.
You look around and you realize, oh my god, they got Piggy. It's a shame.
Jimmy, Tommy, and John.
So, go ahead. Do you have any delve equipment?
No.
All right, roll a d6, and this will be towards the resistance of the delve itself.
All right, I'm clearing all of my supply stress, right?
Mhm. And then roll a d6 to see how much damage basically you did towards the resistance of this delve. It's the hardest delve you guys have done yet.
3.
Okay. All right. So as you finally get past the part of this giant coral reef that is covered in these anemone, you come to a series of apartment-like openings, almost like a honeycomb in a way. Duvesa, you peer as you're leading the path. You peer into one of these honeycombs, and you can see a tiny bit of light is emanating from it, but not like what you've just passed. And as you look closely, you see a person moving about in it. And from this distance, they have like something set up. It just looks like a normal person, and like they're doing something. They're doodling or drawing something. And
I want to see what they're drawing.
every so often, as you're hustling closer, you can see like an eel just lightning fast right past you. It doesn't attack you guys or anything, just out of nowhere. So when you walk into this honeycomb, they're kind of perpendicular to you, so you're looking at a little bit of their shoulder, and you can see that they have an easel set up, and they're painting. And you see with great confusion, perhaps even elation, because of the loss of Piggy, that the painting that this figure seems to be conducting has a face very familiar to you. It's this old-looking face, eyes wrinkled shut. It's got like rosy cheeks and kind of a gray-black beard, like almost no skin available. Everything's like bushy, and like wrinkled eyes. It's a face that you've seen numerous times in your dreams of late, since you've been exploring the heart. And they paint so quickly, like rapid, and then they roll it up, and then they put it in this little parchment, and then they let it go, and you can see that rolled up scroll suddenly elongates into an eel, and it flies away, and then he begins painting the exact same figure again.
So Devesa is going to go back to each member of the party, and excitedly say like, that's it, that's the face, and like super annoying to like every single person, so that everybody goes and helps.
So when you start making noise around him, he suddenly stops, having not even noticed you. When he turns his head towards you, you realize he has no eyes, so he hasn't actually seen you approach yet, and he's kind of reaching and grabbing out for something, like anything, like just trying to like kind of grab. He's closer.
I'll
Want to get an aura
extend
check
my
on
like.
him first? See if
Do you want to do that?
In my excitement, I will forget to do that.
Okay.
I'm just going to go right over.
And so he starts doing the thing where he starts feeling the face a little bit. What do you look like, by the way? Do you have any sort of anything about your face that would be that would stand out in some way?
Distinguishing marks.
Yeah, exactly.
Face parts. I've got them.
Do you have a nose? Is what
I do. I have all of the face parts that I'm supposed to have.
Okay. And so
but I do have kind of running along my jawline a pretty extensive scar.
So he feels the scar and he just, you are not him. You are not him.
But who is he? Who is he? I see him all the time.
You see him.
I do. I came here to find him.
Where do you see him?
I see him in drawings. I see him in dreams. I came here to find him. Where do you see him?
He is not here. He's like laboring, breathing. He's a very old man.
When did you see him? How do you know him? Who is he?
I can't see him anymore. I took out my eyes so I could stop seeing him. So hideous was his face.
When did you know him?
I don't know that I ever did. And then he pulls you in closer. I was a cleric in the Moon Grove. Go to the grove. Find the clerics. Tell them he was buried. And he's like starting to panic, like he's having some kind of panic attack. You imagine he's been here in the middle of nowhere, underwater, painting for God knows how long.
This is my future.
I do need another. But you see him panic a bit. He mentions something about
he's buried somewhere.
Yes.
Where?
Make sure he is still there before all dream of him too.
Where is there?
In the Moon Grove, you silly child. I already said so.
You said that's where I was supposed to go. I didn't know that's where he was buried.
Yeah, you know nothing. Ah, fool I am to think you could help. Off with you.
I'm going to try to wait around a little bit and see if he starts painting and see if I can try to grab one of the eels when it comes by.
Okay. Go ahead and you can make, if you want to try to physically grab it, you can do a hunt. You can also, if you want to try to like coax it towards you, you can do a compel.
Compel?
Okay, so do a compel, and then this will be occult or wild.
Yep. Compel occult. Damn.
You're unable to grab it when you try to coax it in your direction, it gets very close to you and then it shocks you completely as like a little burst of electricity comes out from you, or it comes out from it and shocks you. So take 5 points of, let's call it echo damage, as you just feel this like strange reverberation throughout your bones and your spirit.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to.
How does that look? 7, huh?
That looks. I have 7 just in echo, so yeah, I'm over that.
Okay, so you can clear out your echo, and you're going to take major echo fallout. Man, we're getting a ton of fallout tonight.
Indeed, we've been saving up.
Yeah,
we got a lot last session.
It's been a slow crawl.
One second before you do that. Okay, so you do it first, and then I do my thing.
Okay, I'm gonna say eyes. So if you look under,
what about them?
It's major echo fallout. Your eyes become wide black orbs, and more eyes begin to blossom out of different parts of your body.
Oh,
you
no.
can see perfectly well in the dark, but the light actually starts to hurt you. So whenever we are in a well-lit area, I can call for an endure check, and you can take stress on a failure or partial success. This is ongoing.
Okay.
It's great for where we're
This
at
is useful right
now.
now.
Very useful right now.
And y'all see something. So
Finally.
yeah, yes. Okay, so whenever I suffer major fallout, I enter my true form. So as you guys are just getting used to the idea of I'm sprouting eyes everywhere, and you think oh, that's the bad thing that I'm going to see. It's not. So what you're going to start to see is skin and flesh and hair are going to melt and kind of turn into this sort of goo-like substance and then burst into flames. So what you're essentially going to see is a skeleton that has this kind of dripping blood that starts to swirl into this sort of tornado. So you have a skeleton that's surrounded by a tornado of blood.
Okay.
And now
That
hanging out.
sounds
That's
terrifying.
fucked up.
Yeah.
So that is my true form.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
I'm not touching any of these eels. What the fuck is that?
Last thing I'm ever gonna do.
How long do you remain in your true form?
That's a good question.
Are you okay? Do you need help?
Can I call
at
it?
at the end of the current situation?
Okay. All right.
would we have any idea what was going on?
I
Or
think
what we-
she just touched an eel and it fucking deleted her skin.
So you're going to
Yeah.
hear this whisper that's going to come out of the winds of kind of
Oh
that tornado.
shit!
Okay.
That's basically going to say do not be afraid. This is who I actually am.
Just
Now you have actually seen Duvesa.
I don't know. I can check the box on the first request.
kidding.
That's
I think there's
Oh.
gonna be a lot of
Witches are crazy, man. Okay. Do you do anything else? Anyone doing anything around this guy, or are we pressing forward?
Does that
I'm
hurt?
I'm putting some brown in the
Yeah.
water.
It's much more difficult to try to keep myself in one piece. This is much more calming.
oh, why?
Hmm? Hmm?
Well,
Wait,
this is
this
my
is better
true
than-
form. But now
Wasn't
there's
ready for
eyes.
that.
All of the eyes are
Eyes are part of the
Like-
swarm too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't ready for that.
Okay. I don't know if would my character know what a witch's manifestations, like true forms and stuff, would be.
I mean, if all of you have been traveling in the heart at some point, unless this was this delving group that you're in now was your first time,
Yeah.
you've probably heard. I mean, you probably know that witches can do crazy things, and how much Duvesa shared about her troop form. This is the first time we've seen it on the stream,
Right.
So, I would say unnerving, but yeah,
No more than that.
But
Well,
it's their
I
witches.
guess what I'm trying to get at here, as a heart song, I think I would have a place of reverence for witches, right?
Okay.
Like beings of the heart, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, I might have just became a Duvesa lackey.
Okay. Okay.
We're all looking for something.
Most people know that, I would say most people who spent any time in the heart know that witches are essentially it's a disease. There's this disease, this blood disease that courses through them, and they're able to
Staying back and putting my mask back on.
Yeah, it's not contagious in that fashion. It's not.
Wash my hands furiously.
Yeah, it's more like a blood disease. It's kind of complicated. But okay. So as you all start to settle, and eventually Duvesa returns to her other form, you can see that there's a variety of these honeycomb apartments. You look for a path out. You don't really find them, but you see like translucent backing, like walls, and like you realize you could probably punch through them pretty easily if somebody wants to roll a delve test to get through. Could do wild, can do desolate.
All I have
either
is
of those are fine. I'd also even take Warren for this since it's fairly cramped. Or if it's
Anybody? Anyone have any of these things other than Delve?
I got a broken arm. I ain't punching through shit.
You have another arm?
I will continue taking one for the team, I suppose.
All right.
And delve onwards.
We're seeing this game suddenly show its teeth all of a sudden.
I know.
Right? I feel like the first 2 weeks it was like, it's pretty easy. Then,
well, the dice treated me more kindly then too.
Yeah. Oh my god, we had a guy in our Mutineer Zero stream who was about ready to quit. Like our friend Derek was just everything went. It was so funny.
Roll 20 is
Curse of Roll
such
20.
a pain.
You missed our last session we played in Roll 20, which was abysmal towards me.
Oh really? That sucks.
Yes. There's another fail.
All right, you try to burst through, and although you're able to punch through it, you can feel that your arm. As it's going through, it's not this slender piece of tissue paper, but more like glass. And as you're punching through,
oh no,
the actual shards of glass begin to cut into your skin. So you go ahead and take 2 points of blood, which you can go ahead
I can
and block.
sweat that off.
And
All
so
right.
you manage to bust through slowly, and you begin to one by one hop out. After a little while, you can see that the terrain begins to get even more desolate. It's just sort of like this vast, empty nothingness. And then you come across what you initially think might be a forest. Like you see these tall, brownish looking trunks slowly curving, huge in their base, until as you step further in, you realize it's not, in fact, tree trunks. These are bones of some massive gargantuan creature that likely has been dead for centuries. As you start weaving in between them, you realize that it had to have been much bigger than the crab, much bigger than the barracuda. This thing is like something out of like episode 1, Phantom Menace, and it's just enormous.
Best
Bigger
movie
than
ever.
all the
So
things.
great. There's always a bigger fish. But the water suddenly begins to get swarms with all sorts of bone dust, since no one's been here in forever. No one's probably stepped foot here. Your footsteps on the sand begin to kick all sorts of dust up in your eyes. So you can make a delve. We can do, if you want, you can do an endure. I would say probably those are the 2 ones that you would want to use. Who wants to take lead?
Got Delve. If somebody else wants to
I've
take it, I'll
got
let
Delve
'em.
as well. Yeah, I'll roll it.
All right. So this will be, we can do desolate. We can do wild, and
Can I help?
yeah, I'll say just those 2. Yeah, take an assist item.
Okay, I don't have any of those, but I do have Delve, so that'll be a 3.
So Morthos.
Oh,
There you
Hey.
go.
That's huge. Morthos steps out in front and begins leading the way, broken arm
Someone
and
else
all.
rolling makes all the difference.
Mhm.
And you all follow him through this cloudy, dusty fog, constantly trying to keep your eyes from getting these shards of old bone in your eyes. Morthos, go ahead and roll a D8, and that's how much
Got it.
stress you do to the resistance, or to the resistance of the delve.
Nice. Roll high.
I rolled a 3.
That's a shame.
Roll moderate-ish.
And Tarnished, you can go ahead
Do
and complete
okay.
a beat.
I can. I was kind of hoping for that.
You come across
That's
after
exciting.
a little while longer, you start to notice something else begin to emerge from the darkness of the water. This grimy blue-green coloring, kind of a glowing, and you realize there's this series of ships, these huge, massive sailing vessels, some of recent design technologically, some far older. You can, as you're passing through this almost like a cityscape with just ruined ship. You can see that there are all sorts of strange growths and grime and rust that are appearing on some of these. And as Kethras, as you look around, you notice that there are a variety of ghosts that periodically peek out from various portholes, various breaks in the hulls of these things. Your spectral self has become clear and manifest to everybody around you, and all of these ghosts seem to just sort of eye you as you're going past.
They're giving you one of these, probably.
Just kind of stare.
Does anyone else see the ghost or just me?
All the ghosts can be seen, but they seem to be paying particularly close attention to you as you walk past.
I'm going to be kind of glancing over at them, trying to not focus intently on them, but I want to see if they're just watching or trying to signal me anything.
As you get further and further into this large graveyard to where you're not just on the outskirts, they slowly begin to kind of swirl around you. They leave the different ships themselves, and they slowly begin to create like a procession behind you. They block the way to the right or to the left, and they kind of, after a while, one of them speaks, and you hear this strange echoing voice in your minds. All of you can kind of hear it echoing in your heads. And it says, "Leave the one with the shadow of death."
No, that's me.
The rest of you may pass.
What? I'll ask these ghosts. What happens if we don't?
All will stay.
Listen, I have never been one for sailing. I do get seasick, and I've got horrible credits, so that's a hard pass. Let's keep going.
And as you try to move past, they create a wall, and you see like there's about a dozen of them beginning to swarm around you a bit, reaching out to grab you, pull on your packs and on your clothes.
Do we attempt to charge through?
You can, yeah.
How ghost are these? Are they like Patrick Swayze? They can only touch you sometime, or
They seem to be making physical contact.
that's super lame.
Oh, no. So it's not just when we're making pottery.
10s and 20s? That's my favorite line from Ghost. Oh, God.
Nice.
Get a cashier's check. Like, how did you want that money? And Whoopi Goldberg just says, 10s and 20s? Such a good line.
That movie wasn't even out before Joe was born.
Oh,
Or
don't,
after,
don't say-
whenever. The right version of
What year
that
was
sentence.
don't say things like that. That makes me feel old.
1999.
I was alive. I was 3.
You didn't count yet.
I don't know when that movie was out. It was definitely not 99. I just was
No.
I was just trying to save some face.
I would
there.
guess like 91, 92, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I was 96.
So let's see. You got a couple things. You could fight them. You could try to negotiate with them, compel, something like that. You could try to
I'd probably want to talk.
Whoopi
have
Goldberg
compel
goes.
this.
try to evade them.
1990.
You try to evade as well to try to swim past them quickly without letting them reach out and grab you.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought, is just try and push our way through. Maybe
I'll ask him,
Shield
like,
out.
hey, will you take this other dead me instead?
And they look at you and they look at him. It's not dead.
What?
Wait, I want to hold up Burnthos. I'm like,
Yeah.
this one's not dead?
And they're looking at it, like really looking at it carefully. You see their big ghost eyes begin to squint. No.
What
Fractured.
is it?
Fractured.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Realities separate. Must be rejoined.
Wait, do I need to like hug this thing real hard?
Apparently.
In a manner
I
of
mean-
speaking. It's more metaphoric hug than a physical hug. Yes, you get the idea. Anyway, give us the guy with the dead thing following.
No.
Listen, I'm just going to move past you because my arm is broken.
Okay. Roll it.
Please don't hit me. I'm hurt.
Roll
Can
I'm going to ask Morthos to roll an evade test. These are
Wait.
Okay.
I want to feign like I'm going to stay behind and let everyone else pass, and then try and make it out myself.
Okay. All right. So
Because I don't see any reason to make everyone else try. And
we'll do compel, cursed would work. I would say compel, desolate. I would say can work as well. This is a empty.
domains
graveyard.
don't matter right now for me because of my fallout, though,
Oh, that's right. So compel.
which I don't have.
It's still one die.
Yeah.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Ah, gosh.
Time is a jerk. I really do agree with that.
Yeah, confirmed.
Success takes stress. So.
Okay.
Hey,
So you manage to convince them, and they say, "How noble. You will find we are a wonderful community. We have game nights every Tuesday. It's delightful. But you will take a little bit of, we'll say 5 points of mind stress as
they
you
playing Pinochle on Wednesdays.
it's getting a little stressful as all these ghosts begin to move past your delving friends and start to swarm around you. And
Devesa wants to ask them why. Like, why do they care? Like, they were going along just fine. And then we showed up. Why can't they just continue going along? Like, what's so special about him that he said
Death
stay?
cannot leave this place. He is death.
Devesa will just sort of turn to look at him like, really?
But he is not dead.
Yes and no.
Okay, so 5 points mind stress it gets just very stressful moment. Like this is a huge bluff on your part. What's your total stress at?
My total stress is 11.
All right, so you're gonna take minor mind fallout. You can go ahead and clear your mind fallout now, and you'll take let's see,
My other fallout.
only mind. Only mind. Since it's minor fallout you're taking, you can clear mind stress.
Okay. So I have another mind fallout now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This
Oh
one-
yeah,
this
you
one-
already have one.
This one's minor. Wasn't the other one major?
No.
Okay, so these are two minor. The other option.
Yeah, I haven't been able to clear my blood or supply stress yet.
What is your what minor did you get already?
The one that
Cloudy
ignores
mind.
domains. I forget what it was.
Clouded.
Cloudy
It was
mind.
like clouded.
Okay, this
Yeah,
one can't be upgraded, so we'll say. We'll say you start to feel. I mean, this makes sense. You feel vulnerable as these ghosts start moving around you. You see your delving compatriot starting to leave. The stress is beginning to overwhelm you, and what this means is that if you have any mind protection, you cannot use it. So any mind protection is no longer functional. So you're now
Awesome. It's going from a 0 to a 0.
Well, there you go,
Boom! Nailed it.
and that's ongoing as well. Okay.
So I guess I have a similar question then. Like, we know he's a Deadwalker, so this isn't necessarily news to us.
Same question as when
you've
Chuck asked
s-
about you. It's like if you know they're. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you've seen a few instances where I've used like the shadow
Going to
step
shadow,
thing.
yeah.
The
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
enter
yeah.
the enter the gray. You've seen me like command a spirit to appear and then murder something a few times.
I would probably say like any ability you had at the start of the game in session 1, everyone's probably familiar with. But as you accrue new abilities, maybe that's like the stuff that freaks people out, something like that.
Right. And I've had this the Grim Reaper one, I believe, since the beginning.
You pass, so you get a boon, by the way. Roll a d6.
Oh.
So this will be reduced from the delve's resistance.
Wow. Bam.
Oh, damn.
6.
Nicely done.
Okay, so you see the rest of them, and they begin to leave, and you see them parting, and all these ghosts come and start
Talking
fawning
about
over
the card
you,
games.
telling you like which boat's got the nicest ectoplasm. Like, oh, you can get, oh, it's so good over here. What do you do now?
Sure. The way Enter the Gray probably doesn't do anything against them. They're ghosts, or would I know that?
Right there.
I mean, they're in. I would say it's worth a try.
Because, yeah, I'm not sure what would happen while they're manifested. Like, I don't know if they're in both. Since they're
Oh
not in the
man,
gray
I
right
just
now.
remembered Tarnished-Steel has my contacts. Let me go get them.
Oh, totally. He's got my keys. I gotta.
Oh,
I get them.
I can't start my manifestation unless I've got my keys.
Yeah, be right back.
So I would say you could either do a sneak test, or you can do your try to do your gray thing.
I'm going to try Enter the Gray.
Okay. So we'll say you wait until you feel as though the delvers are a decent distance away, and then you slip into the gray, and you can hear as you disappear into it like the crazed and angry screams of these ghosts who thought they had another part of their flock. And when you slip into the gray, you can see like contours of them, but they seem to be aimlessly grasping for you. They did not seem to come into the gray with you.
Yep.
And so you make
Nice.
a mad dash, catch up
Booking it.
with the delvers as you all exit this this big old empty graveyard of ships. When you pop back out of the gray, all of you can turn around and you can see the ghosts are swimming hurriedly towards you all. And you book it as best you can, slow motion running.
Yeah.
After a while, Morthos, what's the thing that you would most like to have? Like, if you could have one thing, just one like tangible thing in this world,
More Morthos.
what would it be? Like a physical thing.
God, I don't know. Maybe like a flamethrower.
Okay. Yeah, the background sound, they actually developed it. This is tabletop audio, and when they did the Kickstarter for Heart, they developed like a soundtrack. They did the same thing for their previous game, Spire. So it's pretty cool. So they have all these things developed for it. It's pretty awesome. So Morthos, you see this strange geared contraption suddenly manifest in the darkness in front of you, about 20 feet up into the water, and it's glinting and beautiful, and it's just hanging there.
Oh, listen here, guys. Morthos and I are going to go check this out.
Okay.
Do anyone else see this?
Well, Kethras, what is like one tangible thing in life that you would want? Like, I mean, more than anything else, like a physical, actual thing.
Physical, actual, that would be hard because the thing that he wants is released. So it would be something that he thinks is his key out of his contract.
Okay.
So
You see some strange contraption that looks to be some kind of smashing or crushing device. And it just has this perfectly sized shape where you can drop your newfound trunk in. You can see, by the way, that like this whole time Zerk has been like riding the automaton and talking with Behikman, and the two of them have also started to swim up and grab things. Tarnished and Duvesa, what things are you looking for as well? Same question.
Wow.
It could easily just be a sandwich too.
And it can't be a person; it has to be a thing.
I want it to be a physical thing.
That's
A person
tough.
is a physical thing.
That's fine. Yeah, it could be.
I want that the guy in the.
You
drawing.
you see the old man with the wrinkled eyes floating off right next to where Morthos and Morthos 2 are swimming.
Beeline straight for him.
All right, Tarnished.
Coming from the privileged class, I was mostly here for the thrill of the adventure, rather than the things which I had plenty of. Perhaps just something more useful equipment-wise to help me adventure.
You
So
see a
maybe-
bigger, shinier, thicker, better-looking shield with like IROCs like printed on it. Looks great.
straight off. It's that vertical door.
Yep.
I want one of those.
So I see this object that looks perfect for crushing the truncheon.
Perfect.
And I look back, and it doesn't look like. Well, do I see something that looks perfect for crushing the egg or the
egg?
The egg. So I look back and I pull up my spectacles, and I look, back and forth a few times, looking at it, and then I pause for a moment and look at the thing, and then put my spectacles on it.
You
look
see
at this
some
object.
writhing, chunky mass that has no clear form.
And
Amoeba-like.
I start looking at the other things that other people are.
And as each one of them reach out to grab this thing, you see that amoebic mass just wrap over them, and then they are yanked upward.
I'm going to start trying to call out, like, do not go for it.
At this point, one by one, all of them, they're all gone, like getting yanked upwards. But yours is still hanging there.
It's great. Go for it.
This is everything I've wanted. And
I know. I was
less.
thinking everything I ever wanted.
Not every day you get a door from
What's
an
the
IROC.
scientist going for? Do we see what they're going for?
No, you don't. You just see them kind of go after whatever. Like there's just something. They just start swimming upwards towards a shadowy place in the actual water.
Hmm. When I put my spectacles back on, do these forms seem to join each other?
No, they all seem to be like kind of hanging in various intervals.
Okay. I want to. Look like there's any gaps that I could swim up, but avoid these?
Yeah, you can swim
things
up.
that are hanging down.
Yeah, you can swim
All right,
up.
I want to do that. I'm going to leave my spectacles on and try and totally avoid all the.
So you're swimming and swimming and swimming. Go ahead and roll an endure test. You can go endure wild, but it doesn't matter for you. Just roll endure.
Okay.
And one by one, all of you just suddenly, not realizing as you're clinging to whatever it is that you're clinging to, looking at it, you don't even necessarily notice that you're moving. All of a sudden, you burst through and out of the water, and you feel this intense warm air wash over you, and you are getting dragged up to this winch, this large pole with a gear winch, and there's a cable that's being connected with this huge hook in this writhing amoebic mass, and there's this huge building on stilts, and you're just getting you're thrown completely upwards out of the water, and you land on the platform next to these winches. And when you look back down, you see no signs of water. You just see a massive array of just ash. You see embers beginning to fall from way up high, almost like it's snowing, like this black ember. Kethras,
What?
as you continue to, as you swim, you eventually burst through, and your head pops up, and all of a sudden your mouth is just completely covered in ash. And you look as this huge net sweeps down, picks you up, and pulls you and dumps you onto the same platform where the rest of them are. And you see this old man come shuffling out Actually, I had too many old men. Say an old woman. This old woman comes shuffling out with this big old hat, and she's got like her own, like, she's got a little mustache going on. She's got this pipe, and she's well, that's disappointing. I guess we should throw them back in. And you see up on like this crane, this big lumbering idiot is just sort of like, okay, Grams, and they start to move everything already. And you look around, and you are in a completely different location.
That's why I was like,
I'm looking around still wearing the spectacles. I'm going to pop it up. Do they still look the same?
Yeah, like at this point, like when you look, there's just these chunks in the ground, and all of you, when you look at your whatever it was that baited you, you look now, and it's just like this strange amoebic form that the old woman comes over and just kicks them, and they just fall back into the ocean.
Going to see if we can find something better. Yeah, that's what we'll do. What you all doing swimming in down there? It ain't no place for folks like you to be swimming.
I found my friend.
lots of stuff. None of it good so far.
We're investigating the disappearances of a lot of these professor-like folk, and I'm going to gesture over at the professor.
Ain't no professorly folk here. Nope, just us folk.
Yeah. You look around, and it's just like this massive sea of ash, and there's these like striding creatures that are going through it. Occasionally, you see other homes in the distance, these buildings with these wenches, and they're like pulling up squids that are flying through the air. When you look at the very top of this area, hundreds of feet up, you can see it's almost like the ceiling's on fire. Like magmatic, and bits of black ash are raining down to the sea below. You see a few people start putting like umbrellas up.
I feel way better about this environment right now.
Yeah, you probably do. This is your place.
I would say, Morthos, you probably, as you start to take a breath and look around, get a better sense maybe for where you are. Maybe you haven't been here before, but you've heard tales in your delving career of the Ghastling Plain. It's a smoldering, ever-burning mass, massive sea of ash that shifts like water.
Did Morthos just see this plane when he was getting baited?
No, sadly no.
This is my home now. Fuck you all.
Listen, guys. We found someplace safe where we can rest and recover. It's way better than all that goddamn water.
You want rest and recovery? Go on over to the long hut. We're working here.
Sure.
All right.
Can you toss us over that way?
And you can see that there's like pulleys and cables that seem to connect between different places. And like, you kind of
hook a line over.
You kind of got to like shimmy depending on whether you're up or down. So if you're going down, but yeah.
Mesa wants to have a conversation with her about how she manages to do that illusion to kind of trick everybody, because
I've been fishing the Ashen Sea since I was a wee girl. We all got our special little ingredients and such, and I ain't gonna go sharing that secret with no stranger. If I want to stay in business selling this to the witches of Hallow, I sure as hell ain't gonna go giving away my trade secrets for free.
Sell what to the witches?
And so you can see that there's like squids on this big platform. There's other people that are working, like gutting them, and they're draining this black ink from them.
Black ink. Boy,
putting them in big old jars.
Would they know anything about this giant crab that we encountered, or the kelp, or any of that stuff?
You start asking,
or is that too far from them?
When you start asking, they have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Like, giant crab, we got squid and such, and we ain't got no crabs here.
Javesa's going to go into her bag, because she actually has a votive image of Hallow Heart's Breath halting,
Mm-hmm.
who is part of the hollow.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of trying to convince her that.
Yeah, I might have seen her once or twice, but I got different contacts that I sell to.
So what does this substance do?
I don't know, they just want it. It's ink. I think they write stuff with it or something. Never much had reason for reading or writing myself, but them witches like you, they write their spells and concoctions and stuff down, so... If y'all want to go there and talk to them yourself, just take that big old stairwell up there and leave us the hell alone.
Okay, party, group, gang, friends, pals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything against that, but we were hired to do a job.
I think we've overshot the job at the moment, and we need to come back towards it.
Well, I mean, if we're here, we might as well not
we
waste
can rest
the
and
trip.
recover. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is a good place to rest and then eventually go back down and figure out something to do about that crab.
I mean, I don't know. If we wanted to kill a giant crab, I think talking to a bunch of group of witches would be a great way to get some info on it, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that's originally why I advocated for going here first, was information.
Cool. I'm glad I came up with that idea. Let's go to it.
Can Devesa eat one of the squid?
No, y'all can't eat this squid. What's wrong with you? You want something to eat? You go up the road and talk to Spunk Hollow at the Long Hut. Yeah,
Let's go do that.
He cooks some things. Crazy Gnoll fella, but don't let him fool you. He's a sweetheart underneath his fur.
We need some of that, I think.
So you all start rappelling up the rope, and you see this very long hut on top of stilts. You can see it's like a central hub connecting to a variety of other places. You can see there's like moving houses that actually have legs and that are like walking through this ashen sea. There's a couple, dozen people milling about the hut. You go inside, you can see there's a variety of tables that have been set up. There's people eating and conversing and trading. You see a frazzled and sweaty Gnoll behind a counter, kind of a lunch counter, and he's taking orders. He's got an apron on, says "Kiss the Cook" on it, and a couple other folks are helping as well. And you can see that there's some chalkboards with the various meals. This is a haunt, so you're able, if you want, to do some blood healing or some mind healing by just chatting and talking with people. Like just so either or both. Now the way it works though is that you have to give resources to get the healing. So it doesn't matter what resources they are. And you could go up to a D8. So the maximum
Is this
amount of
for
healing.
stress or fallout?
This is for blood
Stress.
or mind stress. And then let me double check fallout for you really quick. So healing fallout. I have it on here maybe. Easiest way to remove fallout is to access a haunt with the appropriate resistance tag. So if you have any blood or mind fallout, they could downgrade it to minor if it's a major, or they can get rid of it if it's a minor, but it's going to cost D8 to do so. It's a D6 to remove minor and a D8 to downgrade from major to minor.
Oh, okay.
So you have to do some combination of resources.
I'm gonna spend my D6 bootleg ambrosia, whatever that is, to get rid of my cloudy fallout.
Okay. So just being amongst folks again. So now what you do, D6 you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're just getting rid of the fallout, just scrap the D6 away and you trade it for good stories or some food or just some company, and your mind begins to write itself. Is anyone
Awesome.
else accessing the
Some
haunts?
delicious hamburger.
I definitely need to.
Okay.
So I've got my broken arm. That's major, right? That was blood.
So if you want to downgrade the major to a minor, it would cost D8 worth of resources. You remember you can combine resources together. So you have if you have like 2 D4s, you can throw them together. It's fine.
Okay. I've got some old moldy ass bread, which is a D4 Haven resource, and I got a D4 of occult snortable meth.
Okay. When
That's gotta be some super bread.
when you offer it to Spunk Hollow, the guy is right.
You're my kind of man.
You got it, buddy.
I can split that up for you.
And so we'll downgrade as he kind of cares for your follow a bit. So we'll downgrade your major blood to a minor blood. We'll call it let's see. We'll call it there's really nothing that makes sense. We'll call it battered. So we'll go from broken arm to battered. So your dominant hand is injured. You can bandage it up and stop the bleeding, but it's often limited. But it's of limited use. Anytime you make an offensive action in combat, it's risky. And any tasks that require fine dexterity. So your arm's healing, basically.
Better than dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Better than my broken arm.
When he notices, by the way, your second Morthos,
He's mind trading that one. I haven't caught one of those in ages. Best eating I've ever had.
No. He's not dead yet.
He can be.
Well, he's me, and I would like him to not. Apparently, I'm supposed to like hug him real hard or something like
You
that.
gotta.
Maybe you're supposed to eat him.
this.
Maybe you gotta eat him. I agree with
I don't think I want to eat myself.
I'm also a Gnoll, so I'm like,
I can fix them up real good for you.
No, I appreciate it, but Morthos and I are going to go set over there.
Have you considered doing the fusion dance?
Bernthos, he doesn't dance so good.
We could help him.
I want to talk to this Gnoll guy too.
okay,
Yeah.
go up to
Unfortunately, I only have fortune and supply stress.
I've got an exquisite kind of dish that I'd like you to prepare.
Really?
Ever made an omelet with a really big egg?
Squid egg, yeah.
Here, I got something to show you. Do you have anywhere we could talk in private, like just briefly?
Come on, backbone. The counter is fine.
He
All right.
brings you into this crazy looking kitchen,
I'm gonna
steam everywhere.
Drag the trunk behind me,
Smells like seafood. It's like a red lobster.
and I'm gonna try and put my arm around his shoulder and pull up my
Or
spectacles. And it's
biscuits.
like, I have the
That's
fine
right.
ingredient for you right here, and then put the spectacle over his eye and point to the egg.
Oh, that's a pretty big egg right there.
And he takes
I
off the
know.
glasses.
What the hell's going on with my eyes? Oh, dear Lord.
It's I don't know. All I know is it's gonna taste good, and you appear to be the type of chef of quality that'll make that happen.
So he gets a mallet.
And then, do you mind?
Have at it.
He's-
I'm no chef.
He starts swinging at it, and you hear, even though it's hitting a trunk that's made of like fabric and wood, you hear ting, 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 like it's like a blacksmith hitting metal on metal. And he's just like hitting it as hard as he can, over and over, sweating profusely.
We got a problem here.
And he
What
puts
is
the
it?
glasses over onto you, and you see that it hasn't done a damn thing. The egg looks pristine.
Oh no.
Okay, here's my second question. You said these things are moving on giant legs.
Yep.
Think one of those would be a good egg cracker?
Okay. Yeah, I know where you're going. Put it under one and have it crush it.
Maybe. Gotta be careful down in the ash, though. You put the wrong substances down there, and things just have a tendency to explode. And we don't want explosions because they cascade all over the place.
Well, we
right.
came up from down
I
there.
think we can avoid that.
if you really want to break that egg open, you know where you need to go. You go to the maw. That big old mouth will crack near about anything. Or that damn station with the singing crystals, sharp as sharp can be cut right through it.
Okay.
Station.
Do you know where those are from here?
Not that I'm there.
Let me think about that as I scroll through my notes. Well, the maw's pretty deep, deeper than here. You got to go down even further, closer to the center. Things get a little crazy down there. And then, where else? I think other stations. That's up near Detritus. It's the one where
That's
you go
higher.
slow through, or stuff falls. What's it called? Might be grit. No, that's not it. I don't know. One of them. Ask anybody up on closer to the city. They'll know. Easy place to
Okay.
find.
Might want to go there then.
When you step back out into the restaurant area, spectacles still on, you're alarmed by this glowing, decrepit visage coming from one of the tables, the picnic tables. When you pull your glasses up a little bit to look, you can see that there's a young, attractive drow woman eating some sort of chowder, and she's got these ornate and beautiful robes of the library. And when you put them back down, she's once again you got this weird glow about her, this strange and sickly glow.
Not like a glow, but like
You
more
said
like
they're
a-
marked with the signs of the library.
Yeah. And so you're seeing like those same sort of librarian robes that you've seen before.
from the people who sent us here originally. Those librarian robes,
No.
like the professor's togas.
No.
Or,
Like the ones that
No,
you
no.
saw last ep when you were in the inside the Barracuda.
okay. Just want to be sure.
Like my backstory librarians.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. What are the rest of you doing before we close down shop?
Evase
I
is
got-
going to turn in some jewelry for healing.
Healing stress or healing fallout?
Fallout. The limping.
Okay, so that's minor, so D6
Yeah.
will clear it.
Yep.
Okay. Chuck, what do you got?
I got my arm healed, so I'm just going to find a place to sit and eat some food.
Okay. All right. So you find an empty table outside. There's this kind of this old, big, black-eyed woman just sort of sitting there knitting. She's kind of on a rocking chair. She looks over at you and she's like, "Storm's coming." Just going back and forth. Every 5 minutes or so, she just says something about "storm's coming." Seems a little bit loopy.
Okay.
Tasted
I'll
in the air.
I'll definitely carry on a conversation with her, but not. She keeps mentioning the storms, and I just keep rambling on about whatever I feel like. So
Okay.
just a completely disjointed, nonsensical conversation.
And she says, so after like a good 5 minutes of her just saying the same sort of 2 or 3 lines over and over again, completely lucid, like nuts, she suddenly becomes lucid, and she looks at you and she says, "We met before?"
I don't think so. I'm new here.
Nah, we met
Regrettably.
before.
Where did we meet at?
Here. Oh, 4 or 5 posters back.
Wait, did you meet me or I'll hold up Bernthos or me?
Oh, no, I see what's going on here. More than one of you.
There's two of us. I found out this one's not dead.
I think there's 3 of you because I saw another one of you before, too.
Crap. Now there's 3 of us.
And he had another one of you, too, so that means there's 4
Four
of
of
you.
us.
Mhm.
God. We're gonna have to hug real damn hard to become one again.
I had a sister once. There were two of us. She ain't dead now. Real dead, not like that kind of dead. Like all the way dead.
Are you saying I gotta kill this one?
I don't know. You like him?
Yeah, he's pretty great. Doesn't talk back.
I didn't like my sister. She talked back all the time, so I killed her. So if you don't talk to you, then you just be nice. It's fine.
You know what?
Sorry.
That is the best point you've ever made. I'm going to start trying to spoon feed Burnthos too.
Does he eat? No. And so you see, like, you're jamming the spoon, and it's sort of dribbling, but every now and then it just animates. Take some.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That's a good eater, that one. Oh.
He is. He's so hungry.
My sister wasn't a good eater. She's
I bet
picky
not.
about everything.
She sounds like a real asshole, that one.
Well, she did because I killed her.
That's what you do with real assholes.
Like 5 or
You
6
kill 'em.
times I did. And 5 or 6 times finally took. Storm's coming.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is probably the best part of the whole night.
Storm's coming.
I'm not even there for it.
Okay. So, Dan, you doing anything?
I have nothing to gain here, so I'm probably just finding somewhere to hunker down and grab a bite too.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just checking if there's any fallouts, or excuse me, any beats we can complete before we cut for the night.
I don't think so. Not for me at least.
Well, you get one just for being here.
Is this a tier and haven? too?
Yeah,
Or
I'm treating
tier
this
2
one.
haven?
I'm treating this one like a haven. Let's see.
And then
I've
that might
eaten
be
stuff.
good.
I don't know if any of it was the heart, though.
Why don't you roll a? Why don't you
I'm
roll?
willing to help facilitate for someone else if it helps, but
You could do a compel haven to Vesa if you want to try to trade something for a piece of the heart. If you want to go up and talk to Spunk Hollow and see if he's got anything special of the heart.
All right.
Hey, Vorluk.
All right.
And you can go ahead and Dan said he'd help you out. If you want. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
don't need it.
That's fine. What kind of resources you got left on you?
I've got the votive image of Heart's Breath halting.
I'll tell you what, you crit, you're going to like,
I'll tell you what, I got a new recipe I'm working on, and not sure if I should give it out to everyone here yet, but
I'll give it a try.
you seem like the type of person that'll try anything,
Pretty
eat
much.
anything. I gotta warn you,
Once.
I don't know all of the ingredients in it. There could be some things in there that just came out of nowhere. Sometimes I get into a
I
trance.
think
when
you
I'm cooking,
decided a bit about this earlier.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
And when you're done, if you could fill out this card here just to give me some kind of feedback, that'd be great.
and so he gives you this big plate of food, and there's just this slab of red meat on top of like a bed of weird black and brown peas or something like that. Roll an endure cursed test.
Is it delicious?
I like my food cursed.
Okay. You eat it. However, as you're chomping into it, you get all the way through it. Like eating it's just fine. It's maybe about an hour later where stuff starts to happen, and you look all around you. Everything starts looking doubles. You start seeing all sorts of things start flying through the sky. You see floaters, except they're not little specklets of things. They're like floating tentacles, writhing masses. You walk out, you see Morthos talking with his old woman.
Or
And
Morthoses.
you see coming out of her mouth, there's just all sorts of tentacles coming out of somewhere. The other Morthos is like waving at you, and it's just like, hey. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to take 1 echo stress.
Boy, that's
How do I
a
roll that at
generous
mastery?
roll right there.
Mastery just means you add an extra an extra dice.
Okay, let me roll 1 more dice.
Okay. Let's see if you got an 8 or a 9 would be no stress. 10 would be no stress.
Sorry, what am I rolling?
I don't know.
Just a D10.
You're not rolling anything right
Yeah.
now. You're
Be a D10.
Sorry, 4.
You're taking take 1 echo stress. Take 1
Okay.
echo stress.
That's
Okay.
not too terrible.
Okay.
So you can cross that one off the list of omens.
Okay, so as you look around and you finally get a little bit of a break from the delve, dry off as well, get some food, meet some folks. We'll pick up as you look off, by the way, to the east. You can see a stairwell going up. You can see a couple others as well. People tell you, take that one over there. That takes you to Hallow. Only if you want to talk to them witches. They're a little kooky-la-doo, right? It's a fun ride over there if you like, wide open spaces. And then you get to the weird stuff. And this is all while they're, like, eating, like, squid monsters and shit.
We haven't got to the weird stuff yet.
I don't know you all that well, just met you. So
No, this is just an internal thing.
yeah. Okay, so let's close down the stream then. Let's go through, check your beats really quick. Morthos, the visiting 3 stations is a major, but you've been to 1 so far. Sump, you need 2 more. I would say that you have satisfied the second one, however. Receive insight. From the crazy old woman who
Nice.
may or may not be a witch. Let's see. Tarnished,
Nice.
you definitely completed to somewhere no one else has stepped foot for at least a century. And I'm going to go ahead and call this a haven because it's friendlier. It's friendly.
I appreciate it.
Kethras, the major one about breaking the egg, you have 2 leads on where you could go to break it. And then you did involve an NPC in your schemes when you were walking along, involving the professor in some way. So you can get your minor. And then Duvesa, you ate something, and you have, like Kethras, a lead on where to go to deliver the message for your major fallout.
Yep.
So, okay.
Cool.
What was the name of the other place? You said the Maw and
The Maw and...
The station with the singing crystals.
Yeah, let me get the actual name for you. I
Yeah.
wrote it down wrong, so I'm getting it
It was
for you. Grips,
near-
Grip Station. GRIP.
And I actually failed to take note of there was the place where we needed to look for the grave.
Moon
the guy-
Grove. That's for Duvesa. The Moon Grove.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take note of it.
Okay. But Hallow is nearby, which is like kind of the central place where witches tend to congregate. I would imagine Duvesa's probably been there at some point. And that we can do that delve next week. All right? Very
And we're
good.
just pushing on through.
Yeah, it's just
This was
Fuck-
fun because we all
Fuck
like
the quest and the things we should be doing.
got Fallout and
Yeah, Fallout
Yeah,
finally
we got
happened.
stuff
Yeah.
today.
We got heaped on.
I got a
us.
lot of Fallout.
You look over
I'm
at Zerk, and he took all of it. He's got broken legs, broken arms, his eyes are missing. He's still eating a turkey leg somehow. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
you do what you do.
Yeah,
I'm just so happy that Burnthos is responding so well
he's
to
good.
this environment.
That's great.
Yeah. I would sure like to unload some stress myself, but we'll see where that happens.
There is another. I mean, you're going to a legit haven. If you guys do go to Hallow, you'll get over to a legit haven, and there's more there. Like you need to go to. Don't forget, you also do bonds. There's a couple. If you wanted to do any, if anybody wanted to take some bonds, there's. Let's see who we got. So there's Spunk Hollow, which is the Gnoll cook. You can do that if anybody wants that one. There is Gladys. That's the old woman on the rocking chair out front. There's Isol. That's the woman who had the weird ghastly glow that Kethras saw. Those are 3 names. There's also Taffy. That was the woman who pulled you up if you wanted to try to bond us. Those are 4 people you could potentially bond
Probably
with.
go for the weird glow person.
I want to bond with the old lady.
Of course.
Bond with the cook.
I think that leaves the Fisher lady for me.
Okay.
You're so excited.
Hey, she seemed just the right amount of loopy and just right on it also.
So what you can do if you want is you can unload mind stress on them. In some cases, you can make an argument to do a different kind of stress, but the most common is mind stress.
Okay. If it's mind, I may hold out. I have no mind stress. I only have fortune and supplies.
Yeah, I don't either right now.
I only have blood and supplies right now.
I have fortune. How do we get rid of fortune?
Fortune usually requires specific haunts or abilities.
Yeah. I'm guessing supply is probably the same.
Or major fallout.
Supplies is the same thing. Like supplies will get you like you can go to different places in like various havens and communities. They all have like a list of haunts that you can talk to.
Right.
So
we have a 3 bond limit though, right?
3, yeah.
So I may hold off for now until I'm closer.
What happens if you hit that 3 and you want to
load mind on?
I think you can lose one. I have to look it up to see if you can voluntarily drop one. I know that like whenever you unload stress onto them, you have to check for fallout on them.
You can offend them too much.
You can make them go crazy, or you can just put too many of your own problems on them for they go nuts and they hate you. And sometimes you can kill them. So it's pretty great.
Oh,
so
oops.
All right.
Well, hopefully
this
next week.
one time I went into a dungeon and there was a
Are
fucking
bonds
crab thing
specifically
killing my
just mind
ancestors.
stress?
That's the most common. I'm make an argument if you think it would make sense to do something else. I'll gladly listen to arguments for that. If I would say,
I'm sure, like if you could find someone that's good at healing or whatever, then you could find.
Sure,
someone
if it's
that
a
has, like,
doctor,
blood.
you can make a case that it's the physical stress, like the blood stress. If it's like some sort of seer or prophet or something like that, maybe fortune could work.
Unless they're running a shop, I don't think I'm gonna unload my supplies on them.
Yeah, it could be like a shopkeeper, dude. Fine for supply stress.
I'm gonna rock, paper, scissors with them to get rid of my fortune stress.
Basically, if you have a distant relationship, you just replace it with a new relationship.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I'll stand by for now.
All right. Sounds good. All right, so let's get out of here. This week, Chuck and the Defenders of Cobalt have stuff on Wednesday over on their channel.
And Friday.
Thursday, I'm just going to go through the days. Thursday on Zweihander RPG, Melissa and I and a couple others are starting our brand new Zweihander game over on. Are you doing DMG or are you doing Grim and Perilous Plays for the Thursday game?
Thursday, I think it's Grim and Perilous Plays.
Okay, so twitch.tv/Grim and Perilous Plays for their MCC game, Mutant Crawl Classics. And then Friday, we've got more Defenders of Cobalt. Joe, you're running the D&D game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
5th edition.
And then Saturday, Melissa and I are doing Mutineer Zero. That's on this channel, and we're doing that at like 6 Central. And then later that night over on Defenders of Cobalt stream or
Zweihander.
On Zweihander RPG.
Yep.
Chuck's running for some GNP folks. So that should be a lot of fun.
Let's keep it complicated.
Yeah.
Now we gotta.
Okay. And then come back next week here, same time, same channel, and we'll do more crazy stuff. And then we'll see if we can find more Morthos. We can find Morthos.
I'm really excited.
That's kind of what we're all after here. Is to.
It's like cowbell. You can never have enough.
Yeah.
It's like Sonic. We got to find the chaos gems and assemble them all together for super Morthos.
Oh my gosh! It's going to be Mecha Morthos.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have like a big body, and you're just gonna merge. You ever see Slither? You ever see that movie with Nathan Fillion? Yeah. And at the end, where there's just like the big, giant, fleshy monster, and they're all just like fleshy merging with them. That's the end of the end of the campaign.
Super Morthos.
Super Morthos.
All Morthos.
So. Or maybe it's Super Burnthos, and he wins the mental war.
God.
Listen,
it's not even Morthos.
Burnthos and I, we're 2 birds in a feather, right? Like,
sure.
Maybe.
If I'm in charge, I'm in charge. If Burnthos is in charge, then I'm just happy to be part of his excellence.
I like that he's developed a name now. He's Burnthos. I'm writing that down.
He's starting to have a personality also.
And it's interesting too, because it's like Bernie, but then you're also a fire mage. So there's like the other Burns. It's like a pun and everything. It's a pun within a pun. It's just so many levels to it.
So great.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks to everybody who joined us. Thanks to everybody who is watching this later on VOD. Catch us next week, and we'll see you later.